my name is Artem. I'm an English learner just like you, and I was able to start a YouTube channel and start speaking clearly in English in just a few years. And in this video, I'll share with you exactly what I did to improve my writing in English. I write scripts for my YouTube videos, so I do have knowledge in how to start writing better. So the plan of this video is simple. First, I'm going to show you 3 different practices that you can start doing to write better. And second, I'm going to show you 3 different tools that you can use to start writing better and more. So let's get started. The first practice is reading. You're like, what? Reading? Seriously? So before reading, writing was a huge mess. I didn't have enough vocabulary to express myself in words. So I had to go to dictionary and search for words because I just didn't know how to say this in English, and it was a big problem for me. But as soon as I started reading books, it became a lot easier because books are literally the text. It's basically the text that someone wrote for you. So you're basically reading this text, and when you're reading this text, you're basically copying it into your brain. And when you copy this into your brain, you can actually use it in your own writing, It's kind of like a painter. So for example, a painter wants to draw a copy of Mona Lisa. And so what he does, he looks at the picture of Mona Lisa, he looks at different faces, at different pictures of women, at different backgrounds, and tries to draw the copy of this picture. So in order to draw this picture, in order to copy this picture, he needs to look at this picture. So it's the same thing with writing. If you want to write a text, you need to look at the text that someone wrote previously before you, It's pretty simple. And I've made a lot of videos about how to start reading. I'm probably going to put a link in the description so you can check them. The second practice is journaling. So journaling is basically writing in a diary. You're like, what? Diary is just for little girls. I don't want to write in a diary. What's the point? Just hear me out. When I started writing myself, somebody on YouTube recommended me to start journaling, to start writing in a diary. And I was like, well, I don't know about that. But actually, I tried doing it and, I failed. I just didn't know what to write in my diary. So after a couple of days, I tried to go on YouTube and search for different videos on how to start writing in the diary, what to write about. And, it was still pretty hard. I was thinking, why do I need to write about my childhood? What's the point? This advice was hard for me because first I didn't speak good English, and second, it was just hard, But one time when I sat at my desk, I was thinking about journaling, and there was a piece of paper lying next to my notebook where I journaled. So, and in this piece of paper, I wrote my plans for tomorrow. And so I read my plans, and it was read this book tomorrow. And I was like, all right, fine. And I thought how can I combine these 2 things together? How can I plan for tomorrow and also journal at the same time, which is going to be easy and simple. And so what I'm going to do tomorrow, I also answered 2 simple questions. The first question is, what is the best thing that happened today? Second question is, how I felt today. And so I just wrote 2 simple sentences. First was, today was a pretty good day, and the best thing that happened today was that I read this book and it was pretty cool, and I had so much fun reading it, or something like this. And the second sentence was, I felt pretty good today. Or sometimes I wrote something it was pretty depressing. I just sat all day at home and I looked outside, I see the sun, and I just feel like shit. And so this was a really great practice to improve my writing. I improved my writing a lot by just answering these 2 simple questions. I not only improved my writing, but I also improved my life. I was just writing about how I feel today, how I feel tomorrow, how I feel 10 days after. And when I did that for about 30 days, I started seeing improvement in my life. I started seeing if I do this thing, I'm probably going to feel bad today, If I do this thing, I'm going to feel better. And so by just writing down good things that happened today, and by just writing down my emotions, I became a good listener of myself. I started listening to my emotions more, and when I started doing that, I basically started paying more attention to that. And when I did that, I started making better choices. I started reading more, I started exercising more, I even started writing more, and it just ended up being awesome. And all I did was to write 2 simple sentences. And also I wrote a simple plan of what I'm gonna do tomorrow. So that's it. And sometimes I wrote more than 2 sentences. Sometimes I just felt like writing a lot of stuff about my day, And sometimes I didn't feel like it, especially on the bad days. When I had an awesome day, I could write maybe 10 pages about that day, So this practice is basically going to take you 1 minute of your time, and it works awesome. Again, just add a simple plan of what you're going to do tomorrow, and then answer 2 simple questions. What was the best thing that happened today, and how I felt today? That's it. The third practice is taking notes. So later in the same notebook where I wrote about how I feel, I started doing another practice. And it was the time when I read the book, How to Influence and Influence People. This was such an awesome book that I wanted to capture everything from this book. And so I started taking notes. I started taking notes of everything I found valuable from this book so I can use it later. I was just like sitting in the evening and writing down everything I found valuable from this book. So this was my first time when I decided to take notes. And I basically still remember everything from this book because I took notes, and when you take notes, your brain actually remembers better. But the real lesson was on the second day. As soon as I finished taking notes, I closed the book and then I was writing about something else. I was like writing about my life, doing like a bunch of exercises. And when I did that, I saw that I started using new words that I basically wrote from this book. Like I didn't really know what they mean, but I just started using them. And then after some time, I started using these words in my speaking and in my writing. It was just like magic, I didn't actually learn these words. I was just like reading these words and writing them down because like I took notes from the book and I just wanted to learn from this book. So this was awesome and I didn't even realize it. So taking notes is a really powerful tool that can help you first learn a lot of new stuff. And second, it's going to help you learn your English, But you can only take notes when you watch something educational. So for example, you watch a podcast about how to improve your sleep, or you read a book about how to improve your sleep. And so when you do that, naturally you will want to learn something from this book, right? I mean, that's why you read this book, because you want to learn how to improve your sleep. And so you end up taking notes about how to improve your sleep. And when you end up taking notes, guess what? You're improving your English and you're also improving your sleep at the same time. So this is just mind-blowing. And that's how I was able to get to such a good level of writing. You can even take notes of this video. I provided a lot of information so you can basically like write down everything you found valuable from this video so you can later use this information, and you're also going to improve your English at the same time. So, and you can also write this down in the comment section below. So these were the 3 practices that you can use. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes you're not going to feel like reading. Sometimes you're not going to feel like taking notes. Sometimes you're not going to feel like journaling. It's completely fine. But if you do at least one of these things every single day, you're going to improve your writing tremendously. Like, imagine you do this for 30 days. Imagine how good your writing will be after 30 days if you just write a couple of sentences about how you feel. And so the first tool is pen and piece of paper. This is what you need in order to start writing. Of course, you can write on your phone or on your computer, but if you do it on a piece of paper, you're gonna writing a little bit slower. And because you write it slower, you learn a little bit more, It is proven by scientists that when people take notes on a piece of paper, they end up learning better and more. So the second tool is reminder. So as you can see, I have some papers on my wall, and I basically created reminders for myself. When I forgot to do my writing, I had to remind myself that I should write. So in order to remember, I used to print out simple reminders and place them on my wall. And so you can do the same. I literally made a simple reminder that you can download and print. Or you can also just grab a piece of paper and write it down yourself and put this on your wall. It's gonna work like crazy and you will never forget to write. The third tool is ChatGPT. So you can improve your writing by asking ChatGPT one simple question. Can you show me where I've made mistakes in my writing? And ChatGPT will literally show you where you've made mistakes. It's like a writing coach, but completely for free. So you can also ask ChatGPT to fix mistakes in your text. So for example, can you fix mistakes in my text? And ChatGPT will just fix every mistake in your text, and you can paste this text and send to your friend. Or maybe you're trying to send an email to your boss. And so you need to have at least some level of English, in your writing. And the third ChatGPT prompt is, can you improve my writing? So ChatGPT will basically use better words. It will change a sentence structure, and it's just going to improve your writing overall. And it's also going to delete all of your mistakes. So it works awesome, and I use this a lot. And I'm also going to make a full guide on how to use ChatGPT to improve your English. So subscribe. And this is the end of this video, so hope this video was helpful, and I see you in the next video. Bye.